So if you're like me at all, and you love cars, and you happen to live in a winter climate, comes the time where you gotta tuck your baby away. So here, this is my kind of tutorial how-to video on how to prep your car for winter so that you can enjoy it come spring. So to start, the first thing I did was I washed the car, I cleaned the car, I waxed the car, vacuumed the car, and took absolutely everything that I thought I might ever want out of the car. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing left. Got the floors vacuumed, everything out of the center console, the glove box I may need, the side of the door, because the odds are the car is going to be in the back of the garage for a while, and by the time you cover it, put a battery tender on it, and have it all tucked away in the back of the garage, you're not really likely to be able to get to anything very easily once it's in the car. So that is step number one. Okay, so second thing number two I did do, is I took the car and I got the oil changed, the filters changed. I had a mechanic do a look over the car to make sure everything is in tip-top shape, so I don't have any surprises when it comes time to uncover, take her out, and drive her in the summertime. Because in Maine, we don't get many days, so the last thing you want to be doing is trying to order a part or get your car fixed when you really just want to get out there and drive. So I made sure everything was looked over and had full oil change done, and I also had the tires overinflated just slightly so that they will not develop flat spots. Just a couple PSI is all you really need. Not too much, obviously, but just enough because the car will be sitting for a while. We don't want the tires to get out of round. So the next thing I did was go to Ace, and I bought some stuff. This video is in no way sponsored by Ace, but if my YouTube channel ever does get that big, Ace, look out for me, okay? You're one of the first videos. Got some mothballs, try to keep some mice away. That's gonna be important. I got these things that the gentleman highly recommended that were twice as expensive as the mothballs, but they're apparently rodent repellent. He said they smell minty. You're supposed to put some in your engine bay, your trunk, and just everything to keep the rodents away, because they can be very costly if they decide to get into some wires or just shit all in the inside of your car. So we're going to avoid those at all costs. And I got this. A little bit of a fuel stabilizer. You don't need much. This is good for a 20-gallon fuel tank. The Z4 is only about 14.5 gallons, so this is plenty. And that will keep the fuel good for, this one says up to 2 years, so I should be totally set for winter. And then I went to BMW and I got a battery tender. This is not a charger, this is a tender. So it's gonna maintain the battery, it's gonna charge, discharge it, to make sure that the battery is healthy and charged for when spring comes around, because you don't want to have a dead battery. And in some cars, you can't get into the vehicle, like the new Corvettes or some Cadillacs, because they're electric door handles. So you want to make sure that you have power for your vehicle while it's being stored. So we are going to go over all of this. And, well, let's make it happen. Fuel stabilizer. Says on the back here that I need 1 ounce treats 2.5 gallons. So I have a 14.5 gallon fuel tank, and I made sure to fill up the tank. That is to ensure that there is the least amount of air possible in your tank, so that as it sits, the air doesn't condensate and put water in your tank, which can rust it. So we're avoiding that at all costs. It's also just not good to have watery gasoline. So the tank is full, and I'm going to add about 5.8 ounces of this stuff. Okay, so the directions in the fuel stabilizer bottle say to then start and run your car for a couple minutes once you put the fuel in, just to help mix it up. So I'm gonna do that real quick. This will be the last time I started for a while. also gonna make sure the wheel's straight while it sits for a while. And since I'm not in the best of ventilated areas in the back of the garage here, I'm only gonna run it for a little bit. As you can see, I'm just under 68,000 miles here. You know, I think must help. I mean, it really must. It really must help if you just give it a little rev. Okay, so next up, the battery tender. Looks like I'm gonna unbox this and figure out how to connect it to the battery. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Very nice, very nice. Here's, we got a, ooh, it's like unboxing an Apple product. Very nice little presentation here. Looks like, boom, show me the money. Got the charger, or the battery tender itself here. And it looks like this is just like a C-Tech battery charger. The end goes in the wall. You got the end that has their quick adapt system. And we can plug it into just like that. There's the battery clips here. It does have a fuse here, maybe, potentially. Okay, yeah, fuse right here, which is very nice. And a very nice little BMW bag for it, because that's probably what you're paying for extra here by getting the BMW branded one. And some instructions. So I don't know about your car in particular, but the BMW Z4 in 2004 especially has a battery located in the rear. Now they did this for weight distribution. So underneath here in the back of my trunk is the battery. So I'm just going to disconnect that and plug on the battery tender. So, without any further ado, just like we learned in art school, red to red, which is your positive, black to black, your negative, and then we simply plug into a C-Tech charger here. Boom. And a little status lights that light up on the charger. And as you can see, it is set for car, normal, and it appears to be charging. Balls. Now these are told basically just kind of put around everywhere. Woo. Okay. Oh, very nice. One of these little packages. Oh, that smells strong, to say the least. But these will help keep the mice away. So I'm gonna leave them around each of the wheel well areas. Yeah. Those are strong. So I'm gonna put some of these here. Those around here because the mice will want to climb up by the tires apparently, so this will help keep them away. I'm gonna try these by the other two wheels, and then I'm gonna put one in the trunk and one in the engine bay to see if we can try to keep as many mice away as possible. So one of these goes in the trunk. Gotta keep mice away from all the wires. That kind of smells like peppermint. Much nicer than the mothballs, for the record. There's a nice little spot right around here. I'm just gonna tuck this down in here, and hopefully that will help us keep some smell in the engine bay, which will keep the mice away. Okay, so now that all the anti-mice protocol has been put in place, time to close everything up. Gonna put the cover on it and say goodbye for the winter. And as you can see, I just put a little box here to give the cord some room so that's not being pinched for the battery tender. And I put the windows down before I disconnected the battery, so if I need to, I can reach in and unlatch the door. Also, on most cars like this, when you go to open the door, I should have recorded earlier, but when you open the door, the window goes down to pull itself out from this seam automatically. So if there's no power, it won't do that, and you could be in danger of breaking the glass. So that's something you definitely don't want to do. So make sure you put your windows down a little bit before you store it for the winter so that you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so kind of the last thing here, I'm gonna put a car cover over the car just to kind of protect the paint, and in case anyone bumps into it, walks by it, it'll kind of protect that. Also, it'll just keep the dust off and help protect the car for while it's stored. This is actually a BMW car cover for an M3, and I'm gonna hope that it fits.